They don't have to evict you on May 15th. They have 56 days from today to work with you to get the rent paid up. And they have 56 more days to serve the writ. So that's actually 112 days, but it's all in their discretion. They don't have to do that if they don't wish to. They have a waiting list of people that are waiting to get into your apartment. All right. Now I've got also Tina Weasel present. Got James Barfield, Roger Gibson. Miss Weisel or Weasel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All
yes,
right, let me
it's
tell
Trina.
That you are here on a landlord-tenant case. In such a case, you have a right to hire a lawyer. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can see if legal aid would represent you or seek other legal assistance. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. I don't even know why they make me tell you that because it's never not happened, not one time. But we'll hear the case here in St. Joseph County. You have a right to have a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell me at this first court appearance or make the demand in writing within 5 days and be prepared to pay the $50 jury demand fee. Unless just judge waives the fee for your inability to pay it. You may be able to get some emergency housing assistance if it is a non-payment of rent case from the Department of Health and Human Services, Community Action Agency, Neighborhood Inc., or potential veterans benefits. We sent that information to you with the original packet. You did not need a judgment against you to receive help from those places. The summons and complaint are sufficient. You've already received that. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested, the court can help facilitate that and set it up. And finally, you may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord that would result in the issuance of a conditional order of dismissal. Mr. Bradshaw has done at least one of those this morning, and I think this afternoon, and there's another one in the works. But our next case scheduled is Golden Pond Estates versus Campos and Gibson. Where is Roger Campos?
My mother isn't here at the moment. It's just me, Your Honor.
I didn't get that. Where is he?
Well, it's my mother. She isn't available right now. I believe she's at a doctor's appointment, and so it's just me.
All right. Your landlord wants you to move. If they get what they ask for, you would have 10 days to move and 90 days to move or sell the mobile. Is that correct, Mr. Cromendike?
Correct.
What's your position, Mr. Gibson?
Well, I was gonna see if we could come to some kind of agreement if I paid, because I made a few payments and I plan on making another payment today to chip it down a little bit more, and then the 15th when I get my paycheck, I plan on chipping it down some more. So I'm trying to pay it off. But as far as the 90-day thing goes, I don't know what I would do in that 90 days. I mean,
all right, well, stay with. They're not asking you to pay the rent. They're asking you to move. But okay. They may be able to make an agreement. So you stay where you are. I'm going to open a breakout room and I'm going to put Mr. Cromendike in with the previous tenant along with the manager, Casey Villa. Ms. Diehouse, you should go in here automatically. Mr. Cromendike, I'll put you in. Mr. Gibson, you stay with me.
Okay.
And I'll attempt when they're done with their case. All right, next we go back to Sturgis Place Apartments versus Barfield. And we've got Trina, the manager, we've got John Bradshaw, and we've got James Barfield. File number here is 26457LT. Let me make my note. We discussed this last time and discussed a potential conditional order of dismissal, and I don't think I got one in this case.
No, you didn't, Your Honor. We had come at the numbers that are needed. The problem is that Mr. Barfield needs more time than my client's willing to give him. He needs to go through this month and then kind of keep going. So if you could put us in a
We
break.
need to last time we were in the month of April, now we're in the month of May.
Yeah.
What's the current arrearage through May?
Yeah, through May, the current amount in rent is $2,311. There's $268.90 in court costs. So the total due through May, $2,579.90. I did chat with Mr. Barfield briefly this morning. I told him what the numbers were. Mr. Barfield, I did get your message calling back, asking if you could have till the end of the month to pay this. And at this point, I just don't have that authority, and I don't think Ms. Weissel has that authority. We're willing to give you a conditional dismissal payable by the 15th.
Mr. Barfield,
Yes, sir.
what they're asking for is, now you must have paid something because there's actually less due now than there was last month. So you paid something and May's run has been added in there. You have to pay that within 10 days or you're subject to being evicted. They're agreeing to extend this to May 15th. In addition, they don't have to evict you on May 15th. They have 56 days from today to work with you to get the rent paid up. And they have 56 more days to serve the rent. So that's actually 112 days, but it's all in their discretion. They don't have to do that if they don't wish to. They have a waiting list of people that are waiting to get into your apartment. And if they were to have you vacate, they would clean it, re-rent it probably within a week or two. But that would leave a unpaid balance. Now, last time Vicky Barfield was also here. Is she with you?
Yes.
Okay, good. What's your position?
I informed Mr. Bradshaw this morning. I'm not sure if I told him the amount, but I actually was trying to pay $300 on it today, but their site is down. So I told him that I could pay $300 today, $550 on the 11th, and the balance of April on the 27th. And then I would have to do, at the moment, I would have to do a similar thing next month.
Well, they can agree to that, but they don't have to. You must have made, as I said, some payment. This rent is expensive. It's $1,305 a month. My fear is this apartment is more expensive than you can afford. For St. Joe County rents, that's quite expensive. If you lived in Northern California, you could rent a parking space for $1,350 a month, but not a house or apartment. At any rate, let me recap where we are. Through May, you owe $2,311 in rent, $268.90 in court costs. That's the filing fee, service fee, and attorney fee. You have to pay all that under the law within 10 days or you're subject to being evicted. They can agree to some sort of a workout plan like this, but let me reemphasize, they don't have to. So it's my contention that you stay in contact with your manager, Trina, and others who may be in charge there regarding this. But if they get what they ask for, unless you pay the entire amount, you're subject to being evicted 10 days from now, which is May the 8th, May the 11th. Mr. Bradshaw, I'd like an order in this one. I don't think I got one.
You want a judgment or can we do a CD?
I'd like a judgment.
Okay, I'll prepare and send it in, Your Honor.
Now, if you do move, Mr. Barfield, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. And the only thing that cures it is paying the entire amount. So let's say you owe $2,579.90 and you pay $2,000. Theoretically, if the additional $579.90 is not paid, they could still seek a writ of eviction. But once again, they can agree to some sort of a workout plan with you. They have 56 days from the day to seek the writ of eviction. So you're going to get this order that says you have to pay that amount or move within 10 days, which will be May 11th. So my contention is you need to stay in contact with your manager. And if they're going to seek the writ of eviction, then you need to work on plan B. Everyone tells me, and I don't disbelieve them, they would move if they had somewhere to move to. We don't have enough rental units and we don't have enough affordable rental units. But a landlord is entitled to get their rent. And I didn't make the rules, I just apply them. So you're going to get an order that says you owe $2,579.90 by May 11th, or you're subject to being evicted. If you and the landlord work out a repayment agreement where you get caught up, my suggestion is you put it in writing. All right, Mr. Barfield and Mrs. Barfield, you're going to get this order in the mail. I'll probably get it here in a bit. I don't know if it'll be mailed out tonight or Monday, but that's the amount, $2,579.80. All right.
In a moment.
All right, Mr. Barfield, stay in contact with your manager. She's here and she heard everything I just said.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Trina.
Mr. Kuipers, if you could join us, we'll get right to business here.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Welcome to our new court.
I like it.
Yeah, maybe you'll get to come in person. It's got old court charm. There's some drawbacks, but we're making it work. Let's go ahead and call our 1 o'clock case. This is file number 22931GC. The title of the case is Orbit Leasing, Inc. versus Douglas Minshaw and Christy Benton. Christy Benton is present and attorney Matt Kuipers is here on behalf of Orbit Leasing. 71348. This was an original claim for $3,532.30. Judgment entered against both defendants jointly and severally. Plaintiff is still attempting to collect on the debt. The alleged current arrearage is approximately $2,433.01. At least it was alleged to have been as of March. Ms. Benton filed a request for installment payments of $25 every 2 weeks, essentially $50 a month. Plaintiff objected to that, saying that wasn't sufficient for a debt of this size. So I set the matter for hearing today. Mr. Kuiper, do you think there'd be any benefit if I put you and Miss Benton in the breakout room and see if you could come to some solution?
Possibly, Your Honor. I mean, plaintiff suggested in their response of $75 biweekly. I don't know if Miss Benton can agree to that.
Well, $75 would be $150 a month, which would
Yes.
certainly go. You can accept that?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Now, you had worked a couple of factory jobs, hard ones. I think you were at Fiber Converters and then maybe at
Peterson.
Peterson's and then also at the Foundry. Where are you now?
I'm at TH.
Plastics?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. The order regarding payments is granted to the extent the defendant will pay $75 every 2 weeks. We'll start that May 15th.
Okay.
That'll be $150 a month, which would pay this off in about 1.5 years as opposed to 4 years. I set these for a hearing. We don't have to come in, counsel could come in by Zoom. Almost always there's some agreement made. So, Ms. Benton, you know how to make the payments?
I'm not real sure how I would do that, or if they could just take it out of my check.
Well, you can set up a wage assignment with your employer. When you get this order, take it into the shop, the office, and they can set up a wage assignment. And they can just withdraw $75 out of your check every 2 weeks.
Okay, then I'll do that.
Anything further, Mr. Kuipers?
No, Your Honor. The court will issue the order then?
Yes, I've signed it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Benton, you're good to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Start May 15th. Good afternoon. We're just letting the clock tick a little bit. Your case isn't until 1:20. And then we're going to call a case here in just a moment. Now, Kowalski is 1:20.
Yeah, we're
Yours
one.
is 1:15. Yeah, we'll call this one. All right, it is 1:15. Let's call Monty and Vicky Learn versus Jamie Riste, R-A-S-T-E. File number is 26685LT. Andrew Rognus is here on behalf of Learn Investments. I think it's a LLC. And Monty and Vicky Learn are here. This is a demand for non-payment of rent. The arrearage was extensive through February, $10,482.17. We have service by attachment, so we're not able to do a default. But Mr. Rognus and the Learns are both scheduled to be here next Friday, May 8th at 9:30. Mr. and Mrs. Learn, has this tenant vacated the unit?
So she vacated it about 3 months ago. And she let 4 cats roam around in there. And the cats pooped on the couches, the floors, peed everywhere. It's flea infested. The apartment's total disaster. And
So are
when she
the cats still in there?
no, we finally got them out, but I couldn't do it myself because I can't go in there.
Oh my. Well, all right, we're gonna have to wait 1 more week, as long as you have the cats out of there. Any idea where she went?
Yes, she's over in Paw Paw, Michigan right now. And when she came in front of you here the last time, she promised that when she got her settlement on her Social Security, she was going to pay us. And
Yes, I
that was right in
remember.
front of you and everybody, and she didn't do that.
Well, I believe the Lerns are gonna be treating for bugs and they may need some access into this property in the. They post the door with a 24 notice, they should be okay to go in and treat.
All right, between now and then.
Yes,
What I will do next week is I'll probably, if they vacate it, I'll grant immediate possession.
okay.
But we're gonna have to continue it to May 8th at 9:30 a.m. At that time, plan to grant immediate possession.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you guys are set to be here next Friday morning anyway, and so is Mr. Rognus. I'll see you at 9:35 next Friday, May 8th.
Yeah, we've
Thank
got.
you.
We,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank
Now, I've got somebody else here by telephone. Who am I speaking with? No,
This
Miss
is Shauna
Dias.
Zerly.
What's your name?
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. It's Shauna Zerly. I am so sorry to join like this. I do video, but I'm having major technical difficulties right now with my phone.
All right, let me, Shauna Zerly. Yeah, you've zoomed in the past.
Yeah, I got a new phone, and I don't know if the service is shoddy or what. Because I don't prefer to do it this way. I like to see
Yeah.
faces. I was gonna try to walk up there real quick, but I know I won't make it in time.
Well, we'll do the first hearing this way. Darn it.
You sound like me.
I had the caps lock on, so everything looked funny. All right, Ms. Zerly and Ms. Diehouse are here for landlord-tenant matters. And while we're waiting for the others, let me go ahead and advise you of your rights as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. Some of you have heard this before, but it doesn't hurt to hear it again. You are a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, either a termination of tenancy or a request for payment of rent. As such, you have certain rights as a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. You have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can see if legal aid would be eligible to represent you or seek other legal services. We do not have court-appointed counsel in civil matters. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to have a jury trial, and if you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first appearance or make the demand in writing within 5 days using the jury demand form, and be prepared to pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives it for your inability to pay it.
Okay.
Both of these are termination of tenancy cases. I think one of them isn't clear, but if your landlord has asked you to pay rent, you may be able to get emergency rental assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Community Action Agency, Inc., or Veterans Services if you are eligible. You may be able to reach an agreement with a landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested, the court can refer the matter for mediation for an attempted settlement. So far, that's never ever happened, but it might someday. And finally, you may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord. That means that conditional order of dismissal would be entered and the case would be dismissed by a conditional order. And that's what happened in our next case. Linda Kowalski versus Philip Kowalski, file number 26475. I've received a conditional order of dismissal. Defendant agrees to vacate the premises by May 29th. And it's been signed by counsel for Linda Kowalski and counsel for Philip Kowalski, and I will sign the order.
Okay.
All right, so our next matter is 125, and that is Centerville Mobile Home Park versus Zerly. The next one is Golden Ponds versus Dye House, and we're waiting for counsel on those cases to appear. It's 122, they're not yet late.
Well, hopefully she's not having the same issues I am. I actually have a really bad echo coming back at me. I hope it's not going back
Yes,
to you too.
there is considerable echo here. And the sound here is problematic. You can't see it, but we're in the new court, the new historic court building. And
how's that working out?
well, some wrinkles, but generally we're doing all right.
I'm trying to be all right. Am I allowed to speak before they come on here? Or? I got a hold of her yesterday because I haven't been getting any rent things on my door, and I'm glad I got a hold of her because when I looked at the paper, I thought it said the 12th instead of the 1st for some
All right, well,
reason.
just wait a minute. We'll wait for counsel to appear. I'm not sure what we've got here. Sort of half and half.
And I tried downloading the app, and it said it was going to take 3 hours. Like, I don't have that.
Oh, good afternoon, Your Honor.
Let me call the case. This is Centerville Mobile Home Park versus Shauna Zerly. Jared Levine is here on behalf of the Centerville Mobile Home Park. One of the principal owners, Christy DeCenzo, is also present. And Shauna Zerly is here by telephone only, which is a bit awkward, but we'll try to make it work. I have advised her of her rights. Let's go. I'm not exactly clear what this is. It was filed as a complaint.
Yeah, Your Honor, we amended.
Rent.
Your Honor, if I may, we filed an amendment. This is based on a 30-day just cause termination.
All right, well, let's go back to that. So first of all, you filed a complaint for non-payment of rent. Rent is zero, first of each month. Then you filed a demand for possession just cause. That requires 3 lates in a 12-month period or other cause. That was served on the defendant, well, it was filed on February the 6th.
I did pay that.
You are in violation of the community rules and regulations. Specifically, you failed to pay your rent on time 3 times or more in a 12-month period. This is a good old-fashioned just cause termination. Council, not just in this park, but many car parks got away from this and were filing other things. This is the way it's supposed to be done. If you're late 3 months in a 12-month period, they can ask to terminate your tenancy, in which case you would have 10 days to move out and 90 days to move or sell the mobile home. We've had some previous litigation over this lot, but Ms. Zerly, they're asking you to move, not pay the rent.
I understand that.
They're asking you to move, and it's not easy.
Could I add something? Okay.
You were renting the lot and you're either buying or own the mobile home. So they're evicting
Yeah.
your trailer off the lot. Yes, what do you want to tell me?
I have not been refusing to pay. She is making me and putting me in the position where I have to go to Walmart. I have the money to pay them. She knows that my car is not licensed right. My purse was stolen, so I don't have a driver's license. She's aware of that. It was very convenient. And I don't have any refusal to pay. She just wants me to go to Walmart. And I'm like, I don't drive, for one. I have no family, no friends here. I'm just now starting to find rides and figure out the whole system with St. Joseph's transportation and all that, which I had no idea existed. But that is why I have not paid. And I didn't get a bill on my door this month. So I actually asked her about it the other day. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm not refusing to pay at all. I am getting harassed by residents here, and it's getting old. So I've kind of decided I'll sell because they're not doing anything about what's happening to me. I have umpteen dozens of pictures I'm sure nobody wants to see, or phone calls nobody wants to hear. My life has been threatened by someone who lives in this park.
Your Honor, I have to object.
It's the whole
to this.
family that lives around me.
All right, stop.
I'm done.
When you
That's all I
say
wanted to say.
she is refusing your rent, who are you referring to?
Hey, Jesusa or Jessie,
Cheshire.
whatever she goes by. Yeah.
Mr. Levine, the
I
complaint isn't clear. Stop.
Your Honor, if I
what-
may respond,
Yes.
we FedExed an amended complaint. I noticed that the non-payment complaint was filed instead of the termination of tenancy complaint. So we FedExed an amended complaint and mailed a copy to the defendant, and it went out. It looks like it just went out on
It did.
on April yesterday. So we are amending our complaint to use the SCAO form, termination of tenancy for a mobile home park and a mobile homeowner, and a just cause term, and we can establish cause with 3 times late in a 12-month period that there were 3 7 days that were sent and that was paid after the time period on the demand.
But
Also, it sounds like Ms. Zierli is ready to vacate and sell her home. So perhaps we could resolve it for the court today with a consent judgment consistent
All right, well,
with the
let's
statute.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Ms. Early, one option is you can move or sell the mobile home and then vacate. And
I
they
just
may
don't think it's fair that she
purchase.
refused payment, and now this is where I'm at. They basically got
All
their
right,
money
well,
the first time, more than one.
stop. One thing is refusing payment, the other is not paying it. You're saying, well, I don't have a car to drive to Walmart. I don't know if that's how their system is. You just, hey,
She
you
won't
haven't
let me
paid
do
it.
it online.
All right,
I told her
you may,
I couldn't
you
do
may
it on.
have some offenses. Legal aid is not here today. We had an extensive hearing with her yesterday, Wednesday, and we're still going with another tenant.
I would like a continuation, and I would like to discuss with Ms. DeCenzo on what she thinks my home is worth, and I want to be given
All right,
an amount of
let's,
time, at least a month,
Please
to
down
move.
that path. I'm going to adjourn this 2 weeks rather than, you just
Okay.
got the this done. Just a minute. If you were here
Yeah.
live, you'd have visual cues and you'd understand
I know.
what's, you're here just by telephone. You can't really see what I'm doing or see anybody else. So when you do it next time,
I'm
you
coming
need
in
to come
next time.
here to the court or be able to zoom in, but I'm going to continue this for 2 weeks to May 15th at 10:30. Does that work for you, Mr. Levine?
Yeah, may we appear on Zoom for that?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you. That works.
And I will be there.
All right, you're welcome to be here. All right, now, in the meantime, I'm going to put you guys in a breakout room and let you at least explore the options of perhaps purchasing the mobile home and agreeing on a move-out date.
Thank you.
So
I do have one question for you before you do that. I actually had tried to get into another mobile home park, but they looked me up online and saw that I had been previously evicted from this last going through that we had. And so
Yes.
they wouldn't let me move in because it already showed I'd been evicted on the record. So for me trying to find somewhere now, just because that's already on there, has been a challenge. Is there any way that that can disappear? I ended up paying for it. And they did receive my previous payments before my other payment, which I still have proof of that you've already judged on it, so I don't think you'll go back on it.
Well, you have the previous case, which was 252106 OT.
That caused problems for me getting in anywhere.
LT 252106. That's the
And I do have the
previous
money
case.
to pay them. I could pay them today.
All right, well,
I
that's something they
honestly,
can also consider, but stop. They want you to pay them on their terms, not yours. When they.
I was going to ask if there's any way I could pay the court.
All right, stop. They want you to pay on their terms, not yours.
Yep.
They don't accept green cash anymore, and there are other ways to pay. But at this point, they've simply said your rent is late 3 times in a 12-month period, and we wish to terminate the tenancy. As I indicated, you can once again seek assistance from legal aid, but you can also negotiate perhaps a sale of the trailer and relocation. You don't have to, but because of the way this was pled and repled, notice to you, I'm gonna adjourn it for 2 weeks. In the meantime, right now, I'm gonna put you all in a breakout room. I'll be here. And you can talk at least tentatively about options for perhaps sale or relocation of this. So our next hearing date is Friday, May 15th at 10:30. They can come by Zoom, you can come by Zoom, or you have to appear live. So Mr. Senzo, I'm gonna put you in there. You've got the authority to make a lot of these decisions, and I'll put Mr. Levine in there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This courtroom hearing reveals a dangerous night that nearly turned deadly. Police testified that Andrew Lee White blew through a red light and ignored emergency lights as officers attempted a traffic stop. Instead of pulling over, the driver allegedly sped away, reaching nearly 100 miles per hour during the pursuit. When officers finally stopped the vehicle, signs of intoxication were immediately noticed. Prosecutors argued the reckless driving could have easily killed someone. In court, and the judge reviewed the evidence and the testimony from the officer. The decision was firm. The judge ruled there was enough probable cause and ordered the case bound over on multiple serious charges.
I do have a check that's going in the mail today for $2,100 and something. I forget. That was from last month. And this month, I had Casey go ahead and take out $400 to start on my zero balance for the month.
All right, well, let's back that up. Once they file a termination of tenancy action, they're not supposed to accept any rent. They can, but it can undermine their claim. When did you make a $400 payment?
Today.
So did they accept it?
Well, it came out of my bank, and I got a notice on my phone that KC took it out, $402.95 altogether.
All right, well, certainly, Mr. Commandike and Ms. Villa, the park has the ability to change their mind. And they could rather just accept rent than have you and the mobile home leave the park. But there is an issue when they accept payment after they file a notice to terminate tenancy. Mr. Kromendijk, you got any input on this?
Not a ton of input, but I do. We've talked about this before, right? And while it's clearer under the statute and the rules, the reason it's not as good is because it doesn't leave the tenant with as many remedies, which we've talked about, and we don't like that piece of it.
Well, when they file a non-payment of rent case, you can pay the rent and redeem the unit. You could also get emergency financial assistance. During COVID, I did a number of these where I would allow a non-payment of rent in a mobile home lot case. It's very strong. Just a minute, that the law doesn't allow that. So when they file it this way, it doesn't give you the right to get any emergency financial assistance, and it compromises their right to accept payment.
A repeat drunk driving offender faces the judge in this tense courtroom hearing. The judge makes it clear that reckless decisions behind the wheel can destroy lives. Before delivering the sentence, the judge issues a powerful warning about alcohol abuse and responsibility, reminding the defendant that one mistake could cost someone their life. In this courtroom moment, things take a serious turn as the judge addresses the defendant directly. There's no room for mistakes here, and the judge makes that very clear. As the details of the case come out, the tone becomes stricter and more intense. The defendant tries to respond, but the judge focuses on accountability and responsibility. It's a powerful reminder that actions have consequences, and the courtroom is where those consequences become real. Watch closely as the judge delivers a firm response that changes the direction of this case completely.